Welcome to the Wit and Wonder Podcast, a space where we hold the sacred, the messy, the magical, and the deeply human. I'm your host, Maria, writer, mentor, and devoted student of the human experience. Each episode is a soft yet honest reflection, an offering of perspective, and an invitation to return to your inner world. Here we go. We are back and better than ever, shall I say. Today we are talking about the question of life purpose. And, what if our life purpose wasn't about something that we give or have to live up to, but just something that we have to embody as our fullest potential? I don't know about you, but something that I experience very often is I grapple with this feeling of needing to live up to some sort of invisible contract or being in a state of full on humanitarian, saving the world, some heroic thing. I don't know. I go through a bunch of different feelings and thoughts and expectations of myself when I think about life purpose. But I always come back to this reminder that what if my life purpose was simply about living an embodiment of myself and understanding that life is about having a conscious mind, having the ability to be consciously aware, having the ability to feel vibration in my body, to experience emotion, to experience what it's like to just have some sort of physical experience, and embracing that, and then using that as a tool and a gift to bring into connecting with other people and animals and life. I'm always an advocate about people understanding how powerful they are just as they are. And we hear about it in the law of attraction or power of intention, like Abraham Hicks, like Wayne Dyer. Those types of authors and spiritual teachers are very attentive to the message of embodying who you are, choosing what feels good, making sure that our awareness is always connected to our highest potential and our deepest matter of desire rather than resistance. And I am a true believer of this as well. We become, at least in my experience, we become better friends, better colleagues, better daughters or sons or family members when we are in a state of flow within ourselves. When we have provided ourselves with so much love in our choices, our actions, our state of mind, our self-care, we become better people for those around us. And so I believe that's the basis of purpose. I believe that's the greatest understanding when we talk about life as this canvas of connection where our connection to ourselves then overflows into every part of our reality and every part of our life, where we're reflected what these parts of ourselves actually feel like to engage with outside of ourselves. And if our greatest purpose here is to just experience life and not just experience it, but to embody our greatest potential, which in connection to that, diving into subconscious beliefs, understanding how we create our own reality, our own perception of life, and then how do we shift those things in order to make sure that they are aligned and attuned to who we want to be and what we want our life to mean. Like we almost creating our own potential. Besides that, I'm always an advocate of preaching to people that when we look out of ourselves and into reality, we are projecting a sense of consciousness and perspective from ourselves. We are looking at ourselves, we are experiencing ourselves through everything we do. So, last time our episode, we talked about emotional availability for ourselves, which is a great experience that we can have with ourselves. Like, what a beautiful human development to be able to just sit there and have emotion and be able to experience it. It's the same when we get to experience making a healthy choice, or when we get to experience our intuition and practicing with like following our gut instincts and watching how that plays out. But then we can get into, there's the more spiritual side where you get signs or number synchronicities, or where you feel like messages are being portrayed to you. Like those are reflections of your energy. Those are reflections of your receptivity and the energy that is matching your vibration, because we understand that everything in this world is vibration. We are all energetic particles vibrating around, and as we know through science, energy like attracts like. And so that is the perception of the world that we have when I say we are always experiencing ourselves. When we go up to somebody and we're connecting with them, we are experiencing ourselves through them. So all the feelings that we feel in the presence of them, all the thoughts that come to mind when we're speaking to them, that is about experiencing ourselves through the portal of other people. And so when I speak on purpose, I believe this is the understanding that I take from it. I understand that purpose is directly correlated and connected to our ability to experience ourselves and to understand that we're experiencing ourselves. And then with that, making the powerful and conscious choices that align with the experiences we want to have. So if you wanted to be an author and you feel like that experience or hearing about that lights you up, and that's something that you really deeply desire to do, and you want to create that legacy for yourself in this life, then your next step and those conscious steps moving forward are going to be about, okay, what are you going to do to get there? What are the steps that you do to get there? And in the process of doing that, we then start to understand that purpose isn't just something that we give. We, through our purpose, are putting out energy. We're putting out creation. So even if your purpose isn't something creative or something that you look at as creative, apologies. Let's say you want to be a biological scientist. I don't know any specific biological scientist names, but I'm just going to go with that. And that you feel like that's what lights you up, and that's what your gifts relate to the most, and what you feel deeply called to pursue. And that feels like the lightest version of experiencing yourself. And that's the path you're taking. That is creation. You are creating a vibration through your experiences. And not only that, but you're creating a vibration that feels like freedom to you. It feels light. It feels like love, because you're acting in accordance to your heart, to your soul, to your inner knowing, and to your truth. And in the midst of these creations, whatever goals we have or wherever we're going in life, it doesn't really matter, but we start to understand energetic reciprocity through our actions and intentions toward these purposeful and delightful experiences. We start to understand that we don't have to give just to give. We don't have to give our time just to get a paycheck. Now, that is a really common belief system, and I think something that I know for myself, I've had to work deeply within my own psyche to move through what that means, and the understanding and belief systems I have around security and safety. So I think that's common for a lot of people. Although what I'm speaking to is when we are utilizing our gifts, when we are consciously making choices to put energy into our gifts, that energy comes back regardless in a state of love, whether it is through money, whether it's through connection, whether it's through just a state of joy. There is reciprocity in that energy that's flowing. Not only that, but we're no longer giving from a state of lack. We're giving from a state of pride. We're giving from a state of creation and love for what we're doing, and for the fact that it feels good to give the gifts that we have to give. And again, you might not define your role, your gifts, your purpose, where your energy is best expended. You might not consider it something to be spiritual or even need for it to be globally recognized. That's not the goal always. The goal is just to simply live in alignment with your soul and put energy out and create your choices and your perception of life through experiences that feel good, so that we can be better for ourselves and live to our highest potential, like I said earlier. And then also live in connection with people that are aligned and attuned to the vibration that we're creating, and then create even deeper relationships with ourselves and with other people. I'm a huge, I don't know why I keep using this phrase, but I'm a huge preacher of life simply being about love and experiencing ourselves. And I just truly believe that when we put our energy and our focus into things that bring us joy or bring us content feelings within our body, then we're always going to be living in our purpose. It's a matter of understanding the energetic dissonance between people pleasing or doing something that we feel should be the way that life should pan out, and attaching ourselves to stories or trying to meet the expectations of other people, versus the feeling of embracing the gifts that we might not even know about yet, embracing the parts of us that maybe we were once shamed for, and turning that into the gift that we have to give to others freely and without expectation. And it becomes this unconditional loving exchange of our energy being put into the universe and put into the collective consciousness, and us receiving the simple return of love through ourselves and through our own actions, and then whatever energetically, whatever else comes with that, like I said, money, etc. In that respect, the question then becomes, am I willing, are you willing to trust what feels good is guiding me towards your purpose or my purpose? And I do preface the fact that there's a difference between being scared and it feeling good. For example, one of my personal deepest gifts that I feel like I bring in to connections that I have or places that I go is my ability to feel very deeply energetically. I'm just overall my well is very deep when it comes to reading vibrational energies, viscerally feeling the energy of rooms, of people's circumstances. And so that allows me the gift of empathy and compassion. And as well as this level of psychicness where I feel into different situations and can almost instantly tell how it's going to go. I say this because those very traits, those very gifts that I am now working on embracing and that do allow me to feel inspired and excited, were once my biggest fear and very deeply suppressed by the people that I was surrounded by. And so I think we need to tread a bit lightly when we think about what feels good versus fear, and understanding the difference in that, and seeing this is who I am. Innately, this is who you are in these gifts, whatever it may be, whether that is feeling, whether that's seeing patterns in scientific ratios. I have no freaking idea what that even would mean. Or maybe it's art, maybe it's writing. I don't know. But just keep in mind that your greatest gifts and the greatest purpose that you can create for yourself, and thus for others, may lie in the very parts of you that were once so deeply shamed. And for that, I applaud you for taking on the role of embracing and loving yourself to the extent of knowing that you deserve to live fully authentically and fully aligned with experiences that you want to have, and just experiencing yourself, like I said, coming back full circle here. So with that, maybe purpose isn't something we have to chase or prove or meet expectations, people or things or ideas outside of ourselves. Maybe it's simply just allowing ourselves to live in our truth and experience ourselves fully, and doing that through what brings us joy and what feels good, and also just investigating and becoming curious about ourselves, getting deep into what it means to be human. And every time we can choose that perspective, I truly believe that we'll embody our purpose no matter what. I will leave you with that. I am so grateful for you, and I am deeply excited to share this episode just because I feel like there's so much beauty that comes with understanding that life, as deeply meaningful as it is, it's also not, which is like terrifying. But it's really not that serious. It can be fun and it can be really cool, and we can experience ourselves in an array of different circumstances every day, and we can embrace them, and we can transmute them, we can alchemize them into something that just comes out so beautifully and leads us directly to where we're meant to be at every moment, whatever that looks like. But thank you again for being here on the Wit and Wonder podcast, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this space with me today. Purpose, again, isn't about chasing something outside of yourself. It's about embodying who you already are. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear your reflections. You can share your thoughts with me over on Instagram at Wit and Wonder Podcast, or you can find me personally at mariab.mindset on Instagram. I've also left some reflection questions in the episode description for you to sit with, take a moment to journal on them, or mindfully use them as your motivation. And if you feel this message would resonate with someone you love, please share it with them. I always appreciate your support. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time.